Hi everyone, I'm here to show you how to make the Big Bogey rose using your 12 peg loom knitter. This is generally for flowers, but I found another way to use it. And when you're doing something like this, you want a nice thick chunky yarn. I'm going to use a red one this time. I've done it in white, I've done it in purple. We're going to use red this time. Just pick something nice and big and bulky and soft, and this should work really well. And you're going to start out with your slip knot. It's really easy to do. We're just going to put it on peg 1. And I'm going to show you first how to make the petals. And you're going to start out E-wrapping 4 pegs, and then you're going to go back, wrap 3 pegs, and knit over. Then you're going to go back, E-wrap 3 pegs, knit over, oops, not that one, got a little carried away, and then you're going to go backwards, sorry, I'll put my yarn out of the way here, go backwards, E-wrap 3 pegs, knit over, and then one more time, E-wrap 3 pegs, and knit over. So what we've done here is we've made the first petal by going one, doing our initial E-wrap, then going 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 time back, twice, 3 times, 4 times makes a single petal. And this is 4 pegs. This is going to become the anchor for our next petal. So what we're going to do is we're going to E-wrap 3 more pegs. Now we're going to go backwards. This is our first row back. And then this way. Three times this way. That's our 3rd time across, and this will be our 4th row across. Look, you can see we now have 2 rose petals that are connected right here. And then we're going to do this 2 more times with 4 pegs. Again, back, wrapping 3 pegs, and one more time, wrapping 3 pegs, again, now we have 3 petals. First petal, our second petal, our third petal. We're going to do this one more time. Again, we're going to start with the last peg on our petal and add 3 wraps and go back 3. This is our first row back. Now what I want to show you is we've got a wrap here, but we're not going to knit this. We're going to leave it the way it is, and we're just going to work with these 4 pegs right here, ignoring this knit, which was our starting peg. So we're just going to take this middle yarn and yarn over. We're going to leave this yarn where it is. Okay, back around 3. Oops. Yarn over. You can see that's our second time back, third time back, and then we're going to do this one more time. Knit around 3. Again, we're going to grab this middle yarn. I should have used a different color so you could see it better. We're going to bring that over. Okay. Now we have 4 rose petals. We're going to continue to work around now, and we're going to, for now, we're not going to do anything with these yarns here. We're going to pretend like they don't exist, but what we're going to start doing is we're going to start doing a petal that uses 5 pegs instead of 4. So we're going to wrap 1, this is our starting peg right here. We're going to wrap 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4. And for all these, we're going to ignore this bottom yarn. We're just going to yarn over the middle yarn over the top yarn. And then we're going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4. Ignore the bottom yarn and yarn over just the middle yarn, like so. It's hard to film this, keeping your camera steady. Okay. We're going to go back 4 pegs. Grab our middle yarn. And then knit over. And we're going to go back 4 more pegs. 1, 2, 3, 4, yep, and knit over. Okay, now we have another petal. We got 4 rows. Now what we're going to do, now we're going to knit over this bottom yarn on 4 of the 5 pegs. This is our 5th peg. We're not going to knit over that peg. We're only going to do 4. Okay, so this peg is now our starting peg for our next petal. And again, we're going to wrap 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have a total of 5 pegs that we're working with. We're going to ignore this bottom row of yarn and knit and E-wrap back 1, 2, 3, 4. Knit over the middle yarn over the top yarn. Go back 4 times. Hello, Bravo. You want to be in the video, don't you? One, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Let's try it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, grab the middle yarn, pull it over the top, ignoring the bottom. Then one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now we're finished with that petal. We're going to go ahead and knit over 4 of the 5 pegs for that petal. 2, 3, 4. If you want to fast forward this, please feel free. And then we're going to do one more petal that has 5 pegs. So remember, we did 4 petals on the first row of 4 pegs each. Now we're doing 3 petals on the second row of 5 pegs each. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, we're going to ignore, and we're starting to overlap again, we're going to ignore these pegs. And we're going to go back 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, we grab the middle yarn and knit it over the top yarn. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Helps to be slightly ambidextrous when you're loom knitting. One, 2, 3, 4. And then one more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Grabbing the middle, knitting over the top. Now we're going to knit over 4 of the 5 pegs for that petal. Okay, push that down. Okay, so now we're going to be, you see this is going to be our starting peg. We've got 2 rows. Everything else is a single row. This is our starting peg. We're going to do 6. Okay, we're going to use 6 pegs, which means we're going to add on 5. Here's the peg 1. We're going to add 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Push those down. And then we're going to go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, we're ignoring the bottom yarn, grabbing the middle, knitting over. Okay. Here's our working yarn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ignore this bottom yarn. That's 2 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice little red rose for Valentine's Day coming up this Friday. And then one more. We're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Grabbing your middle yarn, knitting over the top yarn. So there's our petal. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take 5 of those 6 pegs and yarn over from the second row over the third row, which is what we're doing. We're bringing all the rows together now. And one more. And again, we're leaving the last anchor peg open, so we have 2. This is going to be our last petal. We're going to do 6 more, which means we're going to take our anchor peg, that's peg number 1, we're going to add 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brings us back to our starting peg. Oops, I'm not going to knit that. I almost got ahead of myself. And we're going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And okay, push those down. Back one more time. Here's our starting peg. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. More. One more. Now we're going to knit over all the rest of the pegs so that we only have one band of yarn left. Okay, so we've made our 3 rows of petals. Now I'm going to show you how to tie it off. Okay, to finish off this project, we're going to take our working yarn, we're going to wrap it around the entire peg, and then add a little bit extra. Then we're going to cut our yarn. Oops. And we're going to take our peg, and we're going to basically purl this extra yarn around the entire project, so that we can do a drawstring. This is basically a drawstring cast off. You're just going to do like you're doing a purl stitch. It's hard to hold it when it's not in my lap. Alright, you're going to pull under, grab your yarn, pull it through. Go under, lift up, grab your yarn, pull it through. Go under, grab your yarn, pull it through, go under, oops, grab your yarn, pull it through. If you want to look at it this way, you can do it this way too, although it's kind of bulky right now. So you can go down, grab your yarn, pull it through. Just for those of you who like to do your knitting this way instead of upside down, which now you can see why I like to do mine upside down. You can control it a lot better. Pull your yarn through. Pull your yarn through. Pull your yarn through. Come on, pull your yarn through. You go all the way around, and then you go back and go to your first peg and do it again. Okay? Then we're going to slide this off your loom. So there's our yarn. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull on this drawstring right here, and that's going to open our rows up. And then we're going to flip it over so that the small petals on the inside and your large petals, here's your 4-peg petals, are on the inside, and your larger petals are on the outside, just like it would be with a rose. Before we tighten it, we're going to take this yarn and pull it back down through, right through the middle, so it's not sticking out. We're going to tighten it a little bit more, close it up. And there we have our little rose. And then what we can do too is we can also take this yarn and pull it through the bottom. I like to leave this on here in case I want to tie it to a project. But you'll see there you have your red rose. One of the things you could do is you could put a button in here or a bead or something like that. And that's basically how you create your loom knitted rose, just like that. Thanks for watching. Oh, if you have any comments or questions or you try something different, please be sure to write it in the comments. Would love to hear it. Thank you.